Paul, I know you've been pretty down since your accident.
Yeah, I wanted to play football again so bad I could taste it and maybe go on to the playoffs.
I know. I understand disappointment, I really do.
Yeah.
Now, I personally think you have a very bright future ahead of you. And I'm not talking about the fleeting glory of sports.
What do you mean?
Let me give you a clue. You're a natural-born leader. You're one of the most popular students at Carver. You're honest, you're straightforward, and you don't crack under pressure, as we all saw in the amazing fourth quarter against Westside. All the kids look up to you. Now, what does that spell? Student, council, president.
Oh, me? Oh, no, I don't know anything about that stuff, Mr. M. And, I mean, besides, that's Tracy Flick's thing. She's always working so hard at it.
Yeah, no, she's a real go-getter, all right.
And she's super nice.
Yeah. But one person assured of victory kind of undermines the whole idea of democracy, don't you think?
But, Mr. M...
I mean, that'd be more like a dictatorship, like we studied.
But, Mr. M, there's...
Paul, what's your favorite fruit?
Pears.
Pears, good. Okay. Let's say...
Oh, no, wait.
Was
Apples.
apples. Fine. Let's say all you ever knew were apples. Apples, apples, and more apples. You might think apples were pretty good, even if you got a rotten one once in a while. But then one day, there's an orange. And now you can make a decision. Do you want an apple, or do you want an orange? That's democracy.
I also like bananas.
Exactly. Good. So what do you say? Maybe it's time to give a little something back. Tracy, come on in. Close the door behind you. Have a seat. Guess you know why you're here.
If it's about the posters, I think it's awful. I think it's a travesty.
Travesty, huh? Well, that's interesting. Because I think you did it.
What? Are you accusing me? You're not serious. Mr. McAllister, we've worked together on the SGA for 3 solid years. Besides, my own Best banner was torn down. Did I do that too?
Were you or were you not working in the Looking Glass office over the weekend?
I was. So, Mr. Perrotta let me in. As you know, with my many responsibilities, I often have to come in on the weekend, and I have permission to do so. But I left very early, around 6:30.
6:30. 6:30? How do you know what time the posters were torn down?
I don't. I just know that they were there when I left. I'm giving you helpful information, that's all. You know, instead of wasting your time interrogating me, we should be out there trying to figure out who did this.
Okay, Tracy. Who do you think did it? Whom should we interrogate?
Well, I don't know. You know, it could have been anybody. There's a lot of subversive elements here at Carver. Like Rick Thiessen or Kevin Speck and those burnouts. Or what about Tammy Metzler? I mean, her whole thing is being anti-this and anti-that.
Tracy, you're a very intelligent girl. You have a lot of admirable qualities. But one day maybe you'll learn that being smart and doing whatever you need to do to get ahead, and yes, stepping on other people to get there, well, there's a whole lot more to life than that. And in the end, you're only cheating yourself.
Why are you lecturing me?
This isn't the time or the place to get into it. But there is, for just one example, a certain former colleague of mine who made a very big mistake, a life mistake. Now, I think the lesson here is that old or young, we all make mistakes. And we have to learn that our actions, all of them, can carry serious consequences.
I don't know what you're referring to, but maybe if certain older, wiser people hadn't acted like such little babies and gotten so mushy, then everything would be okay.
I agree. And I also think that certain young and naive people need to thank their lucky stars and be very, very grateful that the entire school didn't find out about certain indiscretions, that could have ruined their reputations and their chances to win certain elections.
And I think certain older people, like you and your colleague, shouldn't be leching after their students, especially when some of them can't even get their own wives pregnant. And they certainly shouldn't be making slanderous accusations, especially when certain young, naive people's mothers are paralegal secretaries at the city's biggest law firm and have won many successful lawsuits. And if you want to keep questioning me like this, I won't continue without my attorney present.